December 7, 1941, began like any other beautiful Sunday on Oahu. The island awoke beneath a gentle dawn, the sky painted in soft hues of pink and gold, palm trees swayed in the early breeze, and the air was filled with the promise of another peaceful day in paradise. The Pacific sun rose over Pearl Harbor, where the American fleet rested quietly, their steel hulls gleaming in the morning light. Battleships and cruisers lined the harbor, their crews going about their routines, unaware of the storm that was gathering far beyond the horizon. Sailors prepared for church, wrote letters home, or planned a day of leisure. Some joked with friends, others polished their shoes or read the Sunday paper, savoring the calm that seemed to stretch endlessly before them. The city of Honolulu stirred gently, Hawaiian music drifting through open windows. Locals and servicemen alike enjoyed breakfast, the aroma of fresh coffee and tropical fruit mingling in the air, as the city slowly came to life. For the thousands stationed at Pearl Harbor, war felt distant, almost impossible. The world's troubles seemed far away, separated by thousands of miles of open ocean. Laughter and light conversation filled the barracks and mess halls. The U.S. was at peace, its Pacific Fleet a symbol of security and strength. The sight of so many powerful ships anchored together inspired confidence, a belief that nothing could threaten this island outpost. The idea of an attack seemed unthinkable, protected as they were by the vast ocean. The Pacific was seen as a natural barrier, a shield that made Hawaii feel untouchable, safe from the chaos engulfing other parts of the world. This sense of safety was about to be shattered. Unseen and unimaginable danger was already on its way, racing across the sea toward the unsuspecting island. America's isolation from global conflict had bred a dangerous complacency. News of war in Europe and Asia seemed distant, mere headlines in the morning paper, not a threat to daily life in Hawaii. Pearl Harbor was seen as a paradise, not a battlefield. Its beaches and palm-lined streets were a world away from the devastation overseas, a place where young men dreamed of home and peace. But in a few short hours, this tranquil morning would become a symbol of innocence, lost. The laughter and music would be replaced by chaos and fear, forever changing the lives of those who called this place home. The world was about to change forever. In a single morning, paradise would be transformed and the course of history would be altered in ways no one could have imagined. At 7:55 a.m., paradise erupted in chaos. Japanese planes roared overhead, their red insignia unmistakable. Torpedoes sliced through the harbor, striking battleships lined up like sitting ducks. Explosions tore through the air, black smoke billowed skyward. Sailors, stunned and confused, scrambled for cover, many still in pajamas. The USS Arizona exploded, sinking in minutes and entombing over 1,000 men. Anti-aircraft guns were unmanned, ammunition locked away. The attack was swift and devastating, the element of surprise total. Ships burned, men fought to survive in oil-slicked flaming water. Airfields were bombed to prevent any American response. The peaceful harbor became a vision of hell. In less than 2 hours, the world had changed. The United States was at war. Pearl Harbor was the result of years of rising tension between the U.S. and Japan. Japan's quest for empire in Asia demanded resources, oil, rubber, metal, that it lacked. American embargoes, especially on oil, threatened to cripple Japan's military. Faced with economic strangulation, Japan's leaders saw war as their only option. They believed the U.S. Pacific Fleet at Pearl Harbor had to be neutralized. Diplomatic negotiations failed. Both sides refused to back down. Secretly, Japan prepared a bold, risky strike across 3,500 miles of ocean. The goal: deliver a knockout blow, seize Southeast Asia, and force America to negotiate. It was a desperate gamble. The attack was meticulously planned, but its success would depend on total surprise. For Japan, it was all or nothing. Admiral Yamamoto's plan was audacious. On November 26, 1941, a powerful Japanese carrier fleet slipped silently across the North Pacific. Under radio silence, they approached Hawaii undetected. At dawn on December 7, 183 aircraft launched from carriers north of Oahu. Commander Mitsuo Fuchida signaled, "Tora, Tora, Tora." Complete surprise. Torpedo bombers targeted battleships. Dive bombers struck from above. Fighters strafed airfields, destroying planes before they could take off. In 30 minutes, the U.S. battleship force was crippled. The first wave left Pearl Harbor burning, its defenders reeling. The attack had achieved its primary objective. An hour later, a second wave of Japanese planes struck. Dive bombers and fighters targeted cruisers, destroyers, and vital base infrastructure. Anti-aircraft fire filled the sky. Some American pilots managed to fight back. The USS Nevada, trying to escape, was beached to avoid blocking the harbor. By 9:45 a.m. the attack was over. In under 2 hours, 21 ships were sunk or damaged, nearly 200 aircraft destroyed. Over 2,400 Americans were killed, more than 1,100 wounded. Japanese losses were minimal. Some Japanese commanders wanted a third wave to destroy fuel tanks and repair yards. Admiral Nagumo, fearing American carriers, chose to withdraw. This decision would prove critical. Pearl Harbor was left devastated, but not crippled. Amid the chaos and devastation of that fateful morning, when the skies over Pearl Harbor were filled with smoke and the sounds of explosions, acts of heroism shone through the darkness. As bombs rained down and confusion reigned, ordinary men and women found extraordinary strength within themselves. Captain Mervyn Bennion, though mortally wounded by shrapnel, refused to abandon his post on the USS West Virginia. Despite his grave injuries, he continued to command and encourage his crew, urging them to fight on and save their ship. His unwavering courage and selflessness inspired those around him, leaving a legacy of leadership in the face of overwhelming odds. Doris "Dory" Miller, a mess attendant with no formal gunnery training, became a symbol of bravery. After carrying his wounded captain to safety, Miller took control of an anti-aircraft machine gun and fired at enemy planes, defending his ship and crewmates. His actions not only saved lives but also broke barriers, as he became the first African American to be awarded the Navy Cross, inspiring generations to come. On the capsized USS Oklahoma, chaos reigned as sailors were trapped below deck. Shipyard workers and fellow sailors raced against time, cutting through thick steel hulls with torches and tools, determined to reach those still alive. Their relentless efforts resulted in the rescue of 32 men, a testament to teamwork and the will to save others, even at great personal risk. Meanwhile, on the USS Nevada, sailors battled raging fires and tended to the wounded, all while bombs continued to fall around them. Their determination to keep the ship afloat and protect their comrades showed the depth of their commitment and bravery. Pilots, caught off guard by the surprise attack, dashed to their planes under heavy fire. With little time to prepare, they took to the skies, risking their lives to defend Pearl Harbor and fight back against overwhelming odds. Nurses and doctors worked tirelessly, often under dangerous conditions, to save the wounded. Their compassion and skill brought hope and comfort to the injured, making a difference when it mattered most. These stories of courage and sacrifice from every corner of Pearl Harbor are the true heart of that day. They remind us that even in the face of tragedy, the best of humanity can shine through. In the darkest moments, the human spirit endured. Survivors supported one another, forging bonds that would last a lifetime, and showing the world the power of resilience. Their bravery would echo through history, honored in memorials and remembered by generations, a lasting tribute to the courage that defined Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor's surprise was not as complete as many believe. There were warnings and signs that something was amiss. In the tense days leading up to December 7, 1941, intelligence reports and intercepted messages hinted at possible Japanese aggression, but the clues were scattered and often overlooked. The atmosphere at the base was a mix of routine and unease, with most personnel unaware of the storm about to break. Just hours before the attack, the USS Ward, a U.S. destroyer on patrol, encountered and sank a Japanese midget submarine attempting to infiltrate the harbor. This was a clear sign of hostile intent, yet the alarm was not fully raised. The incident was reported, but the gravity of the situation was underestimated, and no immediate action was taken to heighten defenses. Meanwhile, at the Opana Point radar station, operators detected a large formation of incoming aircraft. Their report was dismissed by superiors, who assumed the blips were simply a group of expected American B-17 bombers arriving from the mainland. This critical misjudgment allowed the Japanese planes to approach undetected. These missed signals, both at sea and on land, meant that when the attack finally came, it caught the defenders almost entirely off guard. The harbor, usually bustling with activity, was eerily unprepared for the devastation that followed. Ironically, the Japanese attackers missed their most important targets, the U.S. aircraft carriers. By chance, these vital ships were not in port that morning, having been sent on missions at sea. their absence would prove to be a stroke of luck for the United States. The survival of the American carriers would become a turning point in the Pacific War. These ships would later lead the counteroffensive against Japan, playing a crucial role in battles like Midway and the Coral Sea, where their presence shifted the balance of power. Another pivotal moment came when Admiral Nagumo, commanding the Japanese strike force, decided against launching a third wave of attacks. This decision left Pearl Harbor's massive fuel tanks and repair yards untouched, resources essential for the U.S. Navy's recovery and continued operations in the Pacific. Had these facilities been destroyed, the U.S. Navy's ability to repair ships and refuel would have been crippled, delaying any counterattack for months and possibly altering the course of the war. Instead, Pearl Harbor remained a vital base of operations. Within weeks, the docks were busy again, and the surviving ships were being repaired and returned to service, a testament to American resilience and determination. The attack, while devastating, was ultimately incomplete. Many ships and facilities survived, and the infrastructure needed for a comeback was still intact. America's ability to strike back was preserved. The surviving carriers, aircraft, and repair facilities enabled the U.S. to regroup quickly and launch powerful counterattacks in the months that followed. In the end, fate, a handful of missed signals, and a few key decisions on both sides shaped the war to come. The story of Pearl Harbor is not just one of tragedy, but also of missed opportunities, resilience, and the unpredictable turns of history. News of the attack stunned America, uniting the nation overnight. Isolationist debates vanished. The country rallied behind the cry, "Remember Pearl Harbor." On December 8th, President Roosevelt addressed Congress, a date which will live in infamy. War was declared on Japan within hours. Days later, Germany and Italy declared war on the U.S., making the conflict truly global. America's entry transformed World War II. Factories shifted to war production, millions enlisted or joined the workforce. The sleeping giant was awake, determined, and unstoppable. The attack meant to cripple America, instead galvanized it. Pearl Harbor became a symbol of resolve and unity. The world would never be the same. Pearl Harbor's lessons echo through history. The attack shattered the illusion of American invulnerability and changed military strategy forever. It led to the creation of a centralized intelligence community and a forward-deployed military. Diplomacy, backed by strength, became a guiding principle. Today, the USS Arizona Memorial stands as a solemn tribute to those lost. Visitors reflect on the cost of war and the value of peace. Pearl Harbor ended American isolationism and launched the U.S. as a global superpower. It is a story of tragedy, resilience, and transformation. The memory endures, urging us never to forget the price of freedom.